So my level is in the Assassin's Creed Odyssey story creator, set in the nation of Laconia, um, outside of Sparta, in this little town called Pitana, in this charming little home right here. So popping into the real world here, seeing the house in essential real time. So player can play as either Alexios or Cassandra. This one, my case being Cassandra. Taking on this quest, player will face or encounter an old man who is requesting to have his daughters returned home for their mother's funeral. So Mistios goes and finds daughters. He knows the whereabouts of the one, who he says is likely praying at the fallen temple, top cliff, which is to the east of the village. So here is where the player will go and encounter the first daughter. But before she will return home, she requires the player to help with the sacrifice. First, she sacrificing 3 wolves and a boar. So first, the player has to return home to their home, pick up her blade, her sacrificial blade, and then find 3 wolves and a boar. So in my level, marking the lair of the wolves as a location to find wolves. The player can find wolves or boars anywhere. Here's another location, point of interest marked in my level, being the Boar Fighting Club, where the player can find boars. But if the player finds the boars or the wolves before they make it to these locations, then they won't necessarily have to go there. The objective is just to kill these animals, these locations being an area where the player can find where to find them. So after the player sacrifices or kills these animals, he returns over to daughter at the temple, and then taking the daughter at the temple back to her home, Pitana. From there, she sends the player out to the point, Xerax Point, where the other daughter is located, stationed here at this fort. So significant with the fort, it comes preset with its own group of soldiers, its own group of enemies, and this fort being one of the larger forts, it has the brazier, where if the player is spotted or causes too much chaos, or doesn't kill the men before they light it, reinforcements will come and there will be a whole bunch more enemies. So in addition to the preset enemies in this level, the daughter will also have an entourage of more soldiers that the player has to defeat before reaching the girl. So from here, she will end up taking the player to find her sister, who happened to be kidnapped, or she was at an encampment that was overrun by bandits, and she's being held hostage. So held hostage in these cages. So the player follows the sister from the fort over here to free this one, killing all the people, all the bandits in the way. So before the girls will return home, the daughter here requires the player to find the mother's jewelry that she had stolen by bandits. She heard that the bandits had gone down the chasms. So down the left side of the map, this is one of the locations here where a party of bandits will be with one of the pieces of jewelry. And further down, all the way down to the point, will be another set of bandits with the other piece of jewelry. So once the player has killed the bandits and found the jewelry, she will return back to where the two daughters are to collect them and then to take them back to their home, Katana. So here, the player will speak with the old man, the father, one more time, with an optional quest where the player can help him seek revenge on the pirates who murdered his wife. Player has the option to decline, but if the player, and then once the player declines, the story will be over, quest completed, or the player has the option to track down the pirates, going all the way down to the other peninsula, down into this cove here, this bay, is where the lot of pirates will be for the player to assassinate, to kill all of the Malakas, and once they're dead, the player will then return back to Pitana and speak with the old man and collect a reward and complete the game, or complete the level. So here in my story, I've made an outline of the story points. Player talks to the old man sends to Gaia sends the player for the blade, animals, and they can take her home. This one, Gaia sends the player to Sophia's location, player kills the soldiers, finds Sophia. Sophia takes the player to her sister, the daughter Arato. Player kills the bandits, frees Arato, then gets sent to find the stolen jewelry. Player will escort the daughters home, where she finds the jewelry, and then Mikhail, it's not spelled right in here, Mikhail sends the player on an optional quest to seek revenge. So the story points are location starting home in Pitona, where the character is, Fallen Temple to the east. The quest location home, the fighting club to find boars, the lair to find wolves, the fort to find the daughter, Spartan camp where the other one is being held, finding one of the pieces of jewelry at the cove, finding the other piece of jewelry at the southern point, and killing the pirates in the cove at the other peninsula. So in here, I have also come up with dialogue, narrative script between the player and the NPCs. My understanding, I can add up to 5 people having a conversation together, including the player, although I've only taken care to use 2 of the NPCs and the player. So down, we see us, you're right back, like your daughters over certain safety. Day's work. And here's part of the story where the last quest is optional. If you declined, sorry you don't have the time. Thank you for all you've done. The gods watch over you. And the story ends. If not, you can continue on. I'll kill each and every last one. Those Malakas. She goes down. You kill them all. Demisios, that's what I'm here for. May the gods watch out for you. And the story ends. The story ends the same. I mean, essentially with similar dialogue, same last line from the player. But This will go into those story points in the creator section. So in my story creator mode, here you can add different characters. The ones I've chosen to start my story include this man being the old man, Gail, his daughter, Gaia, her sister, Sophia, and the third one, Erato. So there, adding those into the game. Also have quest items I've chosen. Adding a quest item, you can select what I want here. These are the ones included. And I have chosen the Sacrificial Blade, or this knife, named it Sacrificial Blade, Gaia's Sacrificial Blade. I've added in the ring, Terrace Ring, this belongs to Larissa. And the third one I put in, Monter's Necklace, to Larissa as well. So those are the quest items. Monitor. I had the option here to put in photos that I had taken in the game. So, help an old man find his daughters so he may lay his deceased wife to rest. Starting here at this house in Tana. Added the other points of interest of where the daughters located. So you can look at different images here. So anything that she took away right testing your story or here. So going into this, I have to put in story starter, my quest, dragging it in, and going from there. So we activate the quest. Program this quest and do a success, fail, to end the story. Okay, so just for fun, that's that.